Alright, I'm going to be explaining the basics of a hydraulic component. Right here I have a 2-position directional control valve. We've got an inlet port right here. This is where fluid goes in, stays. High pressure fluid is constantly being pushed through here. And all these valves are closed until one of these levers are pushed. So I can push it that way. Pushing it that way opens the front valve. So this valve would be open. You can kind of look down there and see that valve opening. Now if I push the valve this way, it would allow fluid to be pushed through here. So it's coming through the inlet. Depending on which way we push the lever, it's going to let fluid out, in or out of these ports. So if we have a hydraulic cylinder, we'll get a better closer look at these valves. Let me push this out. Here's the spindle. See, this is the ports that are opened when you actuate the valve. So if I push the lever forward, it's going to move this way and allow fluid in or out of the port. Opposite, it will go that way. That just goes in there like that. There's a spring, there's the return spring right here. There's just the cap that goes over it, and then the lever plugs onto here, tightens down, controls it back and forth. So we have a hydraulic cylinder right here. This is a double acting cylinder. So this is the rod. This would be hooked to whatever component we're actuating. There's a piston in here. Right now the piston's resting right about here, maybe a little bit farther down. So if we want to extend this cylinder, we would want fluid to go into this port. So we would open a valve. It would allow fluid to flow from here into a port like this through a high pressure line. That would force the piston outward, and this will come out. So I'm going to demonstrate this. We have air right here. We're going to put air into these inlet ports, and it's going to extend the cylinder and retract it. So we applied pressure to this side of the cylinder. It's going to force the cylinder outward, and we have a fully extended actuator. Now we want to retract the piston. So we applied pressure to this side of the piston, force the actuator back in, and that is how you operate a double acting cylinder. Double acting cylinder means that there's 2 ports for the hydraulic fluid to travel through. In a single acting cylinder, there would only be 1 port. You would apply pressure to extend the piston, to release the piston and retract the shaft. You would release pressure to this, release the valve so that fluid can travel back out. Gravity of whatever you're lifting up would force the piston back down. So the pump would force fluid in this way. It could not retract until you release pressure through this inlet. That is the basic operation of a directional flow control valve and a double acting hydraulic cylinder.